All right, listen up, everybody. This is Murph from the Murph and E-Dub Show coming to you live from Mi Casa. Sitting around here on this rainy morning. I don't know if you guys have been watching the news. All they keep talking about is this hurricane that keeps coming up the coast. Listen, if you live in the Carolinas right now, which I'm hoping to be maybe in the next year or two, run for cover. That's all they keep saying. All the weathermen, weatherwomen, they're all out there on the beach watching the people running on the beach. What are you doing? The waves are coming in. It's time. There's a hurricane coming. Okay, guys, you guys know what to do. You live somewhere where there's a hurricane. We're going to get a lot of rain in the next 2 days. I don't know, as E-Dub says all the time, if you guys got to run out and get the bread and milk and whatnot, I don't know, that's a snowstorm. But according to the same meteorologists that are telling us about these hurricanes that are hitting us, they're also telling us that it's going to be a very, very snowy December. I don't know, maybe E-Dubs when he gets back from his retreat. Now, E-Dubs isn't here for the next couple of days. He's going to be in and out. He's even been off social media a little bit. I see him jumping back on, off and on, but he has sent me a text, and he is in hiding right now because he's off trying to copyright his name, E-Dubs, because I was on the internet the other day, and I was looking at some of my, I was looking at some websites. I follow a lot of hip hop, and a guy named E-Dubs commented on something on a Wu-Tang Clan site I was looking at. And I said, "Can you believe it? This can't be E-Dubs. E-Dubs isn't a Wu-Tang Clan." So I hit the click button, and it's not my E-Dubs. So I quickly sent out a text and I said, "E-Dubs, somebody's trying to steal your name." And E-Dubs went right to work, disappeared for a couple of days to a beautiful undisclosed location. He sent me a couple of pictures. There is a lake there. There's trees. There's fresh air. But I think he's out there in the process of trying to find a way to copyright his name, E-Dubs, so nobody could steal it. So good to move my E-Dubs there. But anyway, I'm not here to tell you about where E-Dubs is. I am here to tell you about football, the NFL. Now, last week's NFL games, there seemed to be some boring games and a couple of exciting games. But I'm going to go through the games, give you a couple of quick observations that I got from them, and then after that, I'm going to proceed to give you our picks from this week. So, from the looks of it, I think E-Dubs is still up on me a couple of games. I want to say 4 or 5, but it's still pretty close. And if anybody out there doesn't know what's going on, me and E-Dubs have our bet every year, and I'm not going to go into it in full, but E-Dubs, if he loses this bet, he has to wear a Pete Rose shirt for 7 straight days. That means 7 straight days without taking it off. He's got to sleep in it. He's got to wear it. The only time he could take it off is when he goes in the shower, because then it's going to be wet, and that would defeat the purpose, because E-Dubs does work in an office where he has to look somewhat presentable. So he's going to have to wear that Pete Rose under his suit for work. But that being said, if I lose this bet, I have to don a LeBron James jersey / shirt. Now, everybody knows how I feel about LeBron James. Not going to be happy about that, but as E-Dubs hates Pete Rose, I can't stand LeBron James, so I think it's a pretty even bet. Whereas I'm going to have to wear a LeBron James shirt for 7 days straight. And my job would be a little easier because I am a construction worker and I can wear anything I want to work. So I'm going to have to wear that shirt every day, and I'm going to have to explain to everybody at work why I'm wearing a LeBron James jersey every day. So that being said, let's go into some of the games we had last week. Now, last week, we saw a Thursday night football game between Minnesota Vikings and Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Philadelphia, they surprised me a little bit. Jalen Hurts only threw for 193 yards. Now, coming into this season, Jalen Hurts is supposed to be a top-level quarterback. Now, no matter what happens in the NFL, top-level quarterback is supposed to throw for over at least 250 yards. He's have to find a way to make things happen, okay? Now, they picked up Swift in the offseason. Now, Swift had 175 yards and a TD, all right? So Swift is obviously carrying a little bit of that offense, but Jalen Hurts has to pick it up a little bit too. And he threw an interception. He only threw for 193 yards. They eked out this win 34-28 over a Minnesota Vikings team that I don't know what's going on with the Minnesota Vikings, but Justin Jefferson is a legit star. And the Minnesota Vikings have been a team looking for an identity for the longest time. Kirk Cousins has been here. Kirk Cousins could go into this game and throw for 600 yards, but somehow they would find a way to lose. Kirk Cousins threw for 364 yards and a costly interception. So I guess that's the fact that why Minnesota lost that game. So Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts has got to play better football if they're going to blow out a team like Minnesota. Not for nothing. Minnesota does not have that good of a defense. They're all run by pretty much offense. So Philadelphia's got to do a better job. It's going to have to start being talked about in the same, in the same voice as one, say, the Dallas Cowboys, who are looking pretty good this year. So that game, Philadelphia won 34-28. The next game we have on our docket here was the Ravens and the Bengals. Now, I'm not going to go into this game too much. Lamar Jackson played very well. Joe Burrow did not. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, something's wrong with him. I don't know if I don't know what's going on with Joe Burrow, but he looks a little scared maybe. Maybe he's hurt. He's not the Joe Burrow that everybody thought was going to come into the season and have a staple year and go in there and try to compete for a Super Bowl. The Cincinnati Bengals team is not going to compete for a Super Bowl with Joe Burrow playing the way he is. So that being said, the Ravens took care of the Bengals last week, 27-24. This next game here, I went on last week and I said Geno Smith is not a good quarterback. Geno Smith shot his load. Geno Smith's been figured out. I got to eat my words, guys. Listen, I said it, and now I have to back my words up a little bit. Geno Smith came in there in the second half of that football and really showed that he's got balls, okay? He came back, and they beat a good Detroit Lions team, 37-31. Now, Detroit's a team that's almost there. They got a really good coach. What happened with Swift? Swift left last year. I'm not sure if he was a free agent. He got traded, but I'm not sure what that situation was. But he left, and they got a pretty decent offense now. So I don't know. That coach, he has the ability emotionally to get his players going. He's an emotional guy. He's a big, tough guy. He shows his emotional side. He shows his angry side. He shows the media everything he's got. Okay? This football team's got to play for him. So the Detroit Lions, they let the Seattle Seahawks come back and beat them in the second half. And yes, and if my boy Mike from Seattle is listening eventually, I'm going to eat my words about Geno Smith. And Geno Smith's a pretty damn good quarterback. And Seattle's going to have to be taking a look at. So next game, Richardson out. Zach Moss carries the team, running back. Colts and Houston. Now, the Indianapolis Colts won this football game 31-20. C.J. Stroud threw for 384 yards and 2 touchdowns for Houston and lost the football game. There's 2 quarterbacks in this league last year that I had reservations about. C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. Bryce Young looks like a little boy out there. I was watching this game last week. He looks like he's a little kid. I don't even think the guy's 5'5". I don't think he's going to be a good quarterback. And I said something about C.J. Stroud last year or even coming into this year that I didn't think he was going to be a good quarterback. I don't know. He looks okay. I may have to eat my words about C.J. Stroud, but look, you threw for 384 yards against the Colts. Let's see what you could do this week. So Colts win that football game 31-20. And an unfortunate Richardson gets hurt in that game. So let's see what happens with them this week. The Chicago Bears against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, E-Dubs is going to like what I have to say about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they, to me, are the most surprising team of the season so far. Okay? Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, home game against Chicago. Chicago's not a good football team. Chicago has a good quarterback. Maybe he's another quarterback that's getting the jitters. I don't know what's going on with him, but he only didn't throw for much. I think he only threw for 160-something yards, but he's got to figure something out. But on the other side of the ball there in Tampa Bay, is Baker Mayfield the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Is Baker Mayfield that guy that everybody says he's lost it? He's not a good quarterback. He can't play in the NFL anymore. He's going from team to team. Maybe he's a headache. Maybe he fights with people. Maybe people don't like him. But you know what, though? He's playing pretty damn good over there in Tampa Bay. They also got a good running game. Their running back is really good. He's a future star in the NFL, but let's keep an eye on the Tampa Bay Bucs here. See what Baker Mayfield does this week. I got them winning in our picks this week. I see E-Dubs has the Eagles winning, but I got Tampa Bay maybe pulling it out, but definitely covering. So this game last week, the Buccaneers won the game 27-17. Fields has to figure something out over there in Chicago. And hey, let's see what Baker Mayfield could do in Tampa Bay. Next game is the Kansas City Chiefs against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I actually thought that this game was going to be a higher scoring game. I don't know what happened. Chiefs scored 17 points on a decent Jacksonville Jaguars defense. The Jacksonville Jaguars only scored 9 points from Trevor Lawrence. Is supposed to be this. Again, Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be this guy that's going to compete for an MVP this year. Guy threw for 216 yards on a decent Chiefs defense. Pat Mahomes, let's face it, guys, he's got nobody to throw the football to unless Travis Kelce catches every football. So Travis Kelce, in order for them to compete, I think, is going to have to be healthy all season because Pat Mahomes can't do everything. Maybe they're going to try and figure out a play with him and Andy Reid where Pat Mahomes throws the football and pretty much throws it to himself. You ever see those plays, like, the guys that do it in the combine, or they see the YouTube videos? I mean, they could be doctored, but where the guy picks up the ball, he throws it to himself, he runs down the field and he catches it. I think Pat Mahomes is going to have to learn how to do that because, listen, the guy is the most versatile quarterback I've seen in a very long time. If anybody can learn how to throw the football to themselves for a touchdown, it's going to be Pat Mahomes. And if they don't get any receivers in here or any receiving core, Darius Toney, guys, come on, what the hell is going on? Nobody to throw the football to. If Tyreek Hill would have stayed with this football team, they would have been a juggernaut for years and years to come. But, Tyreek Hill took his talents over there to Miami, like another certain guy did. But I like Tyreek Hill. I don't like the other guy. But Tyreek Hill is another one. He's a star in this football in this league too, with Miami. So I hate to say it, but Miami's a team on the rise also. But we're looking at a Chiefs team 17-9 over the Jaguars last week. Very boring football game. Pat Mahomes needs help. He's the best player on the planet, and he needs help. So, with that being said, we're going to move on to the next game, the Atlanta Falcons and the Green Bay Packers. These are two teams that are on the verge of figuring it out. Packers enter the Jordan Love era. Jordan Love throws 3 touchdown passes. The Falcons are entering the Bijan Robinson era. Bijan Robinson, I said it from the beginning of the season. I even told my son to draft him in our fantasy team. He is going to be and is a star in this NFL. That kid is going to do everything. He's kind of like a Deebo Samuel type. He could run the ball. He could catch. Although Deebo Samuel right now is playing more of a role of a wide receiver because Christian McCaffrey's over there. I think this guy, Bijan Robinson, could pretty much do everything like Deebo Samuel does. And you've seen a lot of that in guys in the NFL now, these wide receivers coming in that can do a lot. They're kind of taking their college stuff and bringing it into the NFL. And I think Deebo Samuel kind of started that last year in the last 2 years with that kind of player. And he's very, very dangerous on the football field. So, listen, this is a good football game, 25-24. Atlanta and Green Bay both have young players that are going to improve over the years. And we're going to see what happens. So the Packers win this football game 25-24. I think I might have had that wrong, to be honest with you. But, hey, listen, I make mistakes sometimes. I thought the Falcons might have won. But anyway, moving on to the Raiders and the Bills. Now, the Bills, I don't know what the Bills are going to do. The Bills are going to have to figure something out. Listen, they beat the Raiders 38-10. The Raiders, let's be honest, are not that good of a football team. The Bills are a very good football team with a quarterback that takes a lot of chances. I didn't say that they're going to lose football games for lack of talent, but I think they're going to lose football games because they have a quarterback there who's sick and tired of hearing that Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. But Josh Allen is a quarterback. He's got a strong arm. He's got an attitude. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's in a franchise where they had a team with a top-level quarterback just like him, Jim Kelly. 4 years, never won a Super Bowl. This Buffalo Bills team is going on 2 years in a row now, not making it to the Super Bowl. This team has to do something, and I think Josh Allen has to kind of, listen, he's got to put this football team on his shoulders because he is the quarterback of the football team. But that being said, he also got to let the burden off a little bit too, because I think the reason he throws some of these big interceptions is because he's got it in his head that he's got to go too much. He's throwing the ball to somebody when he should have been throw somebody else. Like he's literally throwing the ball to the other team at some point. But Josh Allen figures this out. He's got Stephon Diggs and a whole host of others. He's got a good offensive line. He's got a pretty good defense. If Josh Allen figures out how to not throw those big interceptions, the Buffalo Bills are still going to be a force to be reckoned with. The Chargers and the Titans. I talked about the Tennessee Titans last week, about who are the Tennessee Titans. I still don't know who the Tennessee Titans are. I watched them on the football field. They're a boring football team to watch. Yes, Derrick Henry's exciting. Yes, Derrick Henry can run the football. It's okay. Then you got Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill, who is Ryan? We all know who Ryan Tannehill is. I told the story last week. The only thing I really know about Ryan Tannehill is in his second year in the league, he was on Dude Perfect, and he threw a football like 75 yards right through the middle of some thing that was the same size as the football. Then he did a whole bunch of other stunts, and he put it this way. The only thing that I've seen Ryan Tannehill do that was pretty good was that stuff that he did with Dude Perfect. He's a quarterback to come in and manage a football game. Listen, if I could get a Tennessee Titans football fan to call me up and talk to me about this and let me know why Ryan Tannehill is a good quarterback as opposed to I don't know who he is quarterback, then somebody please let me know. Because that football team right there beat a team that is kind of like the opposite end of the spectrum. The Chargers are a team that is pretty ready. They got Eckler. He's a good running back. Justin Herbert. Guy's 6'6", over 200 pounds. The guy's got an arm. he's got to figure something out. Why can't he win big games? Okay. Maybe he's got a bad defense. Maybe he's got the wide receivers that are in and out, not knowing what the wide receivers are doing. They're hurt this week. They're back next week. I don't know what's going on with the Chargers, but the Chargers are a team that are supposed to be doing well. The Tennessee Titans are a team that I don't know why they're doing well. And the Tennessee Titans pulled that game out 27-24, and I don't know why. The 49ers and the Rams last week. Now, this is why I'm going to tell you why the Rams are kind of a team that's going to be on the back burner. Not as a playoff team, but everybody thought that they were going to absolutely suck this year. But they're hanging with good teams. The Niners went in there and kicked the shit out of the Giants. The Niners are, I'm pretty sure they're 3-0 at this point. Now, Brock Purdy, I made fun of Brock Purdy in the beginning of the season. My son drafted him as a second quarterback in the draft. Brock Purdy is going to turn out to be somebody that we're going to be talking about for a long time. He makes stuff happen. Look, he's got Christian McCaffrey. He's got Deebo Samuel. He's got two absolute weapons in those guys. He's got an offensive line, and he has the best defense right now in the NFL. Look, Micah Parsons, yes, he's the best defensive player in the NFL, but as a whole, the San Francisco 49ers have that defense. Bosa, I said Micah Parsons. Bosa or Parsons are two of the best players right now on defense, and San Francisco has Bosa. Now, San Francisco 49ers can definitely go in there and win a Super Bowl this year. They have the team. They've been locked, stocked, and ready to go for a couple of years now, but I am hanging my hat this year on the San Francisco 49ers winning the Super Bowl and going in there, and I don't care who it is in the AFC. Their defense will withstand whatever the AFC throws at them in the Super Bowl. And again, I thought it was going to be my New York Jets, but that took a serious turn for the worse a couple of weeks ago. And I'm going to talk about my New York Jets for a couple of minutes, and I don't think that they have the defense to stock up to NFL defenses of who we thought they were going to be too. Maybe they got to show me something different. But the Niners do have that defense that might win a Super Bowl, and the Niners win this football game against a Rams team that was supposed to suck this year, 30-23. Matthew Stafford threw 2 interceptions. He's got no Cooper Kupp. He's got a decent defense. Cam Akers, boom, you're out of here. I guess you were unhappy. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they'll get somebody in there that could play and manage the running back position. So keep your eye on the Rams there. I don't think they're as bad as everybody thought they were going to be. So they lose that game last week, 30-23, to a 49ers team that's been kicking everybody's ass. The Giants, you disappointed me last week. The Giants, you should have won this game by 3 touchdowns. The Arizona Cardinals are in dismay. They suck right now. You could have went in there and wiped the floor and won this game 31-0. Instead, you were losing this football game. Daniel Jones had to come in and have a good second half. Saquon Barkley had a good game. What is going on with the Giants? The Jets are a mess too. I'm not under any circumstances going to compare the two, but the Giants, you have some weapons. Right now, you have some weapons that you may be able to compete. Daniel Jones, you're making $40 million. $40 million. Now, I don't know if Daniel Jones' $40 million comes from Daniel Jones or it comes from his agent. But Daniel Jones is not a $40 million a year quarterback. Saquon Barkley got 10. Saquon Barkley's a good running back, but 2 or 3 weeks from now, he's going to be injured also. You guys showed me nothing last week, Giants. You won this football game 31-28 and then came back this week and got your asses kicked by the 49ers. That is not Giants football, guys. And Giant football fans, if you want to call me out on this, this is not a Giant hating moment. This is a what the hell happened to the Jets and the Giants. Same thing as baseball. High on the Mets and the Yankees. What is going on in New York sports? Giants, you showed nothing. You beat the Arizona Cardinals last week 31-28, and you got your asses kicked Thursday night by the 49ers. If you're a Giant fan right now, you got to be a little skeptical of what's going to happen because you just gave $40 million to a smart guy from Duke. Yeah, he's real smart. He pulled the wool over everybody's eyes. He got a $40 million contract plus. Giants win this game 31-28, then come back the week after and lose to the 49ers. The Giants have nothing going on this year. Nothing. Giant fans, you can sit back tomorrow and enjoy some football because your team already lost on Thursday. So have fun tomorrow and try and find the team that you want to watch because you know what? That's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I'm going to find a playoff team to watch. Maybe I'll peek in on my Jets a little bit, but I got to find a football team to watch that's going to win in the playoffs. I'm not saying they're my favorite team, but I want to watch an exciting football team. Jets and Giants, we got nothing exciting to look forward to yet. Maybe someone's going to surprise us. Maybe something won't. But right now, it is dismal football right now, and it's dismal baseball in New York. Let's go to the next New York team, the Jets. The Dallas Cowboys invited you into their house. They said, the Jets defense, what do you guys got? Dak Prescott broke a record in that first quarter. He completed 23 or 22 of his first passes against a secondary of Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed. Whitehead had 3 interceptions the week prior. What's going on? That's a defense that's supposed to hold down CeeDee Lamb. He made that defense look like a bunch of high school secondary. The Jets, what happened? What, is everybody upset about Aaron Rodgers? Going into this season, the New York Jets were supposed to have a complete football team. Yes, their quarterback went down. I was heartbroken. 4 plays in, Aaron Rodgers era, done. Done. You can watch Hard Knocks all you want. Watch it till the cows come home. Watch and get psyched. Watch that defense. Watch that offense. Watch Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson beating the shit out of each other. I'm telling you right now, guys, you guys as Jet fans out there, when they zero in and you see Garrett Wilson talking to Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson's not he's mad. He's a legitimate superstar. And he's got Zach freaking Wilson as his quarterback. What are we doing? Did we think that Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to get hurt? I mean, look, I didn't think he was going to get hurt, okay? But in the end of the day, he's a 38-year-old man who went down a little weird and blew out his ankle, blew out his Achilles, whatever it is. Done. For the season, he's not coming back. I don't care how many times he goes on Pat McAfee and says he's coming back. No, we're not going to see the Aaron Rodgers era is most likely over in New York. Unless he's that guy, unless he's him, as Steve Volk calls himself in our football league, unless he's him and says, you know what, I owe the New York Jet fans something. It's not his fault, guys. I'm not saying it's his fault. But in his mind, as a competitive football player in the NFL, he has to feel that he owes something to the New York Jet fans because he sure as shit owes something to that offense. Now, New York Jets offense, get your heads out of your asses and let's play some football. I do not want to see Zach Wilson at the helm 2 weeks, 1 week. I don't want to see him there at all. But you have to make the best of a bad situation. Breece Hall, I'm high on you. Let's go. Let's run the football. And I hate to say it, guys, you got to get that offensive line toughness. Toughness, toughness, toughness. Micah Parsons made that entire offensive line look like, again, I'm going to say it, a high school offensive line. Now, I understand that you're dealing with one of probably the best defensive player in the game, but at least try to block the guy. Try. He did whatever he wanted. He dismantled the offensive line of the New York Jets. And again, it's not a great line to begin with. It would have got dismantled anyway, but not to the point of where you look like you should not have even been playing in the NFL against one man. One. He made your offensive line look silly. The Jets lost this football game 30-10. This is Zach Wilson's 3rd season. Look at him back there. He's not going to make any headway. He looks lost. That smile that everybody talks about, that's a what the fuck am I doing here smile. I played at BYU. Now there's a big difference between Steve Young, Super Bowl winning quarterback, and Zach Wilson. Same school, different guys. Zach, you enjoyed it in Brigham Young. Your mom was all over the place on Twitter, on Instagram. You look like a little boy and you play like a little boy. I did not want to have to go on a rant about Zach Wilson like I did last year. I was okay with him sitting back and watching Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest to ever do it. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. He is not our quarterback. And I can't claim him. You know what? He is a Jets quarterback. Because if you look through the history of Jets quarterbacks, we've never had him. The Patriots had him. We never have him. We have Zach Wilson. 4 plays in, we lost him. Now, the rest of this Jets team, and especially the offensive line, you need to start protecting this kid because this kid sucks and he needs all the help he can get. So please protect this little baby boy like it's your prized possession. Because at this point, Jet fans, who's coming to save us? Another 38-year-old project, Matt Ryan? Somebody gonna come out of retirement with a cape on like Vinny Testaverde did back in the day? There's nobody, guys. Look at it. It's Zach Wilson. I am putting a challenge out to the 5 members of the offensive line of the New York Jets. Protect your quarterback or it's over. Over. They will not win another game for the rest of the season if Zach Wilson has to be under pressure. Let's see what the kid can do if he has a little protection. Let's see what he has to do when Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall are used to their potential and he has time to make plays. He misses wide open receivers. Doesn't even see them. That says to me that he's got a play in his head. The person that's supposed to get the ball is going to. You can't think on your feet, Zach Wilson. Maybe somebody could teach that to you. But you know what, though? That guy's not there right now. That guy is in rehab, rehabbing his Achilles. Jet fans, we're going to watch, but it's going to be hurtful. The reason it's going to be hurtful is because another thing you heard about the Jets coming in is our defense is going to come in here and they're going to kick ass. I saw nothing last week. Dak Prescott, Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, the 3 of them made that defensive line, again, look like a high school defense. Sauce Gardner, quiet. What's up? Maybe they're not throwing the ball to you. Maybe they're not throwing the ball your way. But they're catching the football. You're the future of this football team. Act like it. Garrett Wilson, I see you out there, buddy. I'm not going to go in on you. I see you. You're trying to do too much. Let's go. Listen, second season, grab your offense and give them some of your FU that you have. And please do not become that receiver that gets mad at his quarterback and gets pissed. Be a football player. Be the football player that I know you are. I do see you. I see you, Garrett Wilson, and you're the guy. Let's get this offense going because your quarterback isn't. I'm going to be watching tomorrow, and we're playing the Patriots. History says that these games normally are hard-fought football games because the Patriots and the Jets, no matter who the quarterback is, they had Tom Brady for years. Even shitty Jet teams have played good against them. But Mac Jones against Zach Wilson tomorrow. Listen, I'd rather have Mac Jones than Zach Wilson, but Mac Jones is going to wind up being a little bit better than Zach Wilson. So, listen, this is put up or shut up. This is a divisional game. Go in there and beat the shit out of Mac Jones' defense. At my defense. Go into there and beat the shit out of Mac Jones. Quinnen Williams, you said it. You're a commander. 3 sacks tomorrow. Go get him. Sauce Gardner, I want an interception. I want you to make Mac Jones' day tomorrow a living hell. And if you can't do that in a division rivalry game, then I'm done. I'm done. Just like the Mets, I'm done. Sports has brought me nothing but sadness this year. With high hopes, then leading to sadness. Now, enough of my Jets. Just go out there and win the goddamn football game, please. Commanders and the Broncos. Russell Wilson sucks. The Commanders win this football game 35-33. I hate to say this. Miami Dolphins 24. The New England Patriots 17. The Miami Dolphins are a legitimate football team. Tua, a legitimate football player, legitimate quarterback. His offensive line saw what happened to him last year. The poor kid almost died on the football field. If he gets another crippling hit like that, his brain might stop. So that offensive line has that in the back of his head. Tua is a competitor. Tyreek Hill, I don't know, guys. Is he the best wide receiver in football? I think so. Tyreek Hill. And this guy, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Dolphin fans. I just can't for the life of me pronounce his last name. But Raheem Mostert, whatever his name is, guy ran for over 120 yards. The Miami Dolphins have a legit football team, Jeff fans. They went in there into New England, and they beat the Patriots. Let's do the same tomorrow. Miami Dolphins are a legit football team. They win that football game 24-17 last week. The New Orleans Saints have a player that I love, Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill could do anything. Derek Carr threw for his interception that he normally does. New Orleans Saints fan, your defense isn't as good as you thought it was either. Derek Carr is not Drew Brees. Derek Carr is not that arena football style throwing indoor. Then he could go back to the outdoors and throw the same. Derek Carr is not the answer there, okay? So, that being said, Saints, Carolina, Bryce Young, neither are a good football team. Didn't write the score down. Pretty sure Carolina won that football game. Saints lost. Derek Carr threw for 228 and an interception. The Browns and the Steelers. The Browns were dealt a huge blow last week. Nick Chubb out for the season. Browns lose this football game 26-22 to a Steelers team who admittedly is trying to figure out. Kenny Pickett, Pittsburgh kid, went to Pitt, plays for Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a story waiting to happen in Kenny Pickett. I don't know what's going to happen with him, but I know he's got to throw for more than 150 yards if he's going to be anything good. Steelers win the football game. Nick Chubb out for the season. I can only hope and pray for my fantasy prowess that the minute I saw that, I picked up Ford, okay? Ford's a pretty good running back. He had 106 yards last week, still in a losing effort. Steelers win this football game 26-22 last week. Now, that was the games from last week. Now, I've been on here. It's supposed to be MURFS Quick Hits for 32 minutes. I'm going to give you our picks from this week, and I'm going to go from there. So, this week, me and E-Dubs, we both picked the 49ers, okay? 49ers, like I said before, they manhandled the Giants. They won that football game 30-12. Should have been a lot worse than that. Atlanta and Detroit. Now, this football game here, Atlanta is a team that, let's see, I have it all written a little differently here. So let's go. All right. I'm going to say it out loud, then I'm going to go through the games. Okay, so for me, Cleveland. I got Cleveland -3. I got the Chargers +1.5. I got the New York Jets +2.5. I got the Buffalo Bills -6.5. The Baltimore Ravens -7.5. Got the Houston Texans +9.5. I got the Atlanta Falcons with Bijan Robinson +3.5. I got the Packers at -2. That's the first one I see so far that me E-Dubs are differing on. He's got New Orleans. I got the Packers at -2. Miami Dolphins, I said it before. They're winning this division, guys. The Miami Dolphins are coming, and they're for real, and they're going to be here. Miami Dolphins win this football game -6.5. They win the football game. Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith. You already proved me wrong by saying that you're not ready for the NFL. Now go in there and prove me right. I take the Seattle Seahawks -5.5. The Chicago Bears. Now, they're at +12.5. I didn't see E-Dubs picks, and don't think this is just a go against E-Dubs pick because E-Dubs picked Cleveland on this, okay? I'm sorry, Cleveland, Kansas City on this. I picked the Bears because it's the +12.5, okay? Justin Fields, if there's any defense that you want to run around against, it's going to be the Kansas City defense. 12.5 points. I am not by any stretch saying that they're going to win the football game, but they're going to cover the spread. I took the Bears at +12.5. The Dallas Cowboys, -12.5. They are not the New York Giants, Arizona. They are the Dallas Cowboys. They had a big blow given to them with Diggs being out, but I don't think that there's anything that they're going to do wrong against a terrible Arizona team. I, as well as E-Dubs, took the Dallas Cowboys at minus 12.5. The Pittsburgh Steelers at plus 2.5 against the Raiders. I took the Pittsburgh Steelers because I still got a little bit of faith. I'm watching you, Kenny Pickett. Let's go. Pittsburgh Steelers plus 2.5. E-Dubs has taken the Raiders, so that's another game where we differ. The Tampa Bay Philly game. Very surprised at my partner here. He may not be watching the same football that I'm watching, but I don't know about you, but I'm watching you, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield, you got that running back there, plus 5.5. I don't know. It's going to be a good game. Jalen Hurts, 123 yards. Yes, he runs. Yes, they got Swift. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Bucs in this at plus 5.5. My partner, however, is being a turncoat to his football team and taking the Philadelphia Eagles. I guess he likes the points. I'm taking Tampa Bay, your team, E-Dubs, and you're taking the Eagles. The last game, the Rams at plus 2.5. Now, I'm watching the Rams. Everybody thinks the Rams suck. The Rams aren't a good football team, but I think they're a little bit better than people think. They've been hanging with teams. They hung with the 49ers. I'm taking the Rams in this football game, okay? I'm taking the Rams at plus 2.5 as well as E-Dubs. I think Matthew Stafford's still got a little bit left in the tank. He's got to start throwing so many interceptions. He's got no Cooper Kupp. I mean, Cam Akers is gone now. Maybe Cam Akers was a headache. Maybe they needed him gone. So that being said, both of us are taking the Rams. So that's our picks for this week. I would be absolutely remiss if I didn't go over. Hold on a second. Let me get these next games going here. All right, here we go. Now, that is not our picks. I want to go over the games. That's what I want to do. Sorry, guys. I got a little hiccup there. I want to go over the games just a little bit. The only game I could see here that I really want to go over and I want to say something about is they're all pretty cut and dry except for this Browns game. Okay, Browns and Steelers. The show I'm watching two for 235 yards. Okay, Jerome Ford's got to run. Okay, Cleveland, your defense is really good. Deshaun Watson maybe trying to figure it out. That's really the only game that I really wanted to talk about. Nick Chubb, I feel so bad for you, man. You're out for the season. You're going to have to watch your Cleveland team that I thought might have been going to the AFC Championship this year, but obviously not. So there's our picks for this week. And I want to go over one thing. Going to be quick, okay? E-Dubs the turncoat again. Colorado against Oregon today. We're all going to be watching. Coach Prime, you got to get these boys going. You're going into their crib today. You're going into Oregon. Oregon football. Lots of people. Not saying Colorado isn't a big football school. Same as Oregon. But you guys were 1-11 last year. Oregon is another team that's hungry for a win. On paper, everybody says Oregon's supposed to crush Colorado. Colorado's got no shot. Travis Hunter is not playing today because Travis Hunter has a lacerated liver. Travis Hunter said last week, if it weren't for doctors, he'd be in that football game. Obviously, it would have been detrimental for his health. That kid's not a doctor. He's a football player. He wanted to go back in because of his coach. Coach Prime, anybody could do it for these kids. It's you. You're a motivator. Now, a lot of people say you're a motivator. A lot of people say you're cocky. A lot of people don't like the fact that your kid's driving around in a Rolls Royce. It's really not a good look. But if they don't give your son an opportunity to compete for the Heisman Trophy this year, it's a shame. Shedeur Sanders is throwing the football at a high rate. He's throwing the football against big-time schools. Say what you want about his time at Jackson. He's in big-time football right now. You know what he's doing, ladies and gentlemen? He's playing big-time football. Now, Coach Prime, at the dinner table last night, I know you got two boys on the football team. I hope you sat down with them. You're a big church guy. Hope you guys sat down. You guys prayed. Your son is a good football player. Get that kid motivated to shut everyone up. And let everybody know this afternoon that you marched in to the home of the Ducks and kicked their ass. I'll know one thing, though. I know you're not going to go in there unprepared. So if this game comes down to a fact that Oregon just outright kicks your ass, Oregon wins the game, Colorado Buffaloes lose by 20, they lose by 1, still, they're going to be a prepared football team. And that, if you get your asses kicked today, maybe you have to go back to the drawing board a little bit, but you're going to be prepared. Let's go, Colorado. You're a team I'm admittingly jumping on the bandwagon and following all the way to the NCAA championship. I think the NCAA is a little bit of a farce. It's pretty cool to see Alabama sucking this year too. Well, they don't really suck. They're a legit football team, but to Alabama standards, they're not doing too well. I also did mention the fact that I watched Coach Prime last week on 60 Minutes. He said that he doesn't emulate anybody, but he says he loves Nick Saban's style. So I think that means that years from now, he maybe want to be talked about in the same likes as Nick Saban. So Coach Prime, don't even have to challenge you because you're already prepared. Go to Oregon, win the football game. Colorado Buffaloes, surprisingly upset. Not an upset in my eyes because I got faith in you guys. They go into Oregon and they win the football game. E-Dubs, I know you think that Oregon's going to win by 21 or 20. We'll talk about this later when you get back from me a little copyright retreat. Then we'll talk about it. Colorado wins this football game today, and I'm going to go tomorrow, get on the Murph and E-Dubs show. Hopefully E-Dubs will be back soon, and we're going to talk about college sports. We're going to talk about the NFL. We may even talk a little baseball. I haven't seen E-Dubs in a little while, okay? We have to do episode 42 real soon. All right. I know my voice got a little more monotone. I know my voice was up here before when I was talking about my Jets, and I had to get a little monotone and calm it down a little bit to talk about Colorado because, like I said, I just jumped on the bandwagon because I love Coach Prime, and I think Coach Prime is doing great stuff for the NCAA. Anybody doesn't think that, got to do your homework. Finally, I haven't looked in a couple of days, but I'm going to do this on air because I have no idea what is going on with my New York Mets. Now, I'm going to look right now live on the air, and we're going to see what their record is. Now, the New York Mets right now are 71 and 83. God, guys, what happened? Things have to change. They got to change. Me and E-Dubs are going to talk about this, but Mets and Yankees, I don't know, man. Shit's got to change. Tired of talking about high in the beginning of the season, low at the end. And hey, Mike from Seattle, last shout out. What's going on with the Mariners? The Atlanta Braves are going to win the World Series this year. Everybody just needs to go to that fact. I don't care what team you're a fan of. Just look at what that team is doing. From 1 to 9, the pitching, everything. They got it. Atlanta Braves are winning the World Series. All right, guys, that's another episode of MURFS Quick Hits. Murph and E-Dubs show will be back soon with episode 42, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you later.